I'm going to tell you about our small team. So first of all, why someone decided to create a small team of 4 persons in the Finnish Immigration Service and call it a lab, right? Because it's a little bit ambitious to have a team of 4 persons and still call it a lab. So they wanted to create a place for experimentation, and they wanted to have more resources for innovation. Why? Because most of the people working in something that we call development, they were all working with our internal system. So they didn't have time to work with new ideas or something that it couldn't be exactly our registration services, our digital registration services. And the idea was to work under a framework called Moments in Life. So, for example, when someone comes to Finland, this person needs a lot of different services. So it's not only that they need the residence permit, the one that we deliver, but also they need social security, they need to know how do they do with the taxes, etc. So the idea was to do a little bit of cross-public agency collaboration. And we needed also to be bold and brave. So what did we need? They made this team of designers, and they gave us a lot of freedom. So we have certain things that we have to do for the digital unit, but mostly we have a lot of freedom to see who we were going to work in the organization. We have good facilities and 2 units ready to collaborate. So this is our team, and we are all designers, service designers, but with different background and different capabilities, right? So we use this one to say, hey, you know what? We are actually the first in-house service designer. So if there is different ways in which you can collaborate in the public sector, like we are inside, but the big circle would be like the whole Finnish government, and we do most of our work inside our organization, but we also do some collaboration with other public agencies. So I needed to draw what's our model and how do we work in the public. So we couldn't be the ones leading projects between 2 other ministries. We were in the Finnish Immigration Services, which report to the Interior Ministry. So we are here, we are in the digital service, this is our group, and this also generates a little bit of problems and contradictions, because they didn't realize that, wow, service designers can do something else than digital. So when we started to explain that, hey, by the way, we could think about processes and we can work with legal design, and we can, then it happens that now we have more or less 5 managers who would work and report. But it's super good also, because this opens the doors of the collaboration with other people that were not collaborating with us at the beginning. So our mission was we have a positive influence in the life of immigrants. This is what we said from the beginning. And then we realized that actually what we need is just to support our organization making use of design capabilities, that we cannot have a mission or a vision that is far ahead of what the organization has, that we are there to support whatever the strategy our leaders decide to have. And then this is something that everybody asks, hey, how are you going to measure success? Because our team was created for 2.5 years, and of course we have to show something. And we have a very soft way. So we have decided that for us, the most important is the amount of continuous collaboration. If people work with a project with us and return to us, that's great. We are serving our people inside the organization, bringing user-centered design, doing experimentation, doing cross-agency collaboration. But the most important is that people in our organization, they tell us what we have to develop. Because if they don't appropriate what we do, then we cannot do things together. So I will show you a couple of projects. We have these service projects, and for us this has been super important. So when we arrived there, we were like the immigrants like me. They were calling us and to know, for example, when is my residence permit ready? And we were only answering 22% of the incoming phone calls. And then we created this fantastic vision that by 2020, customer service is 90% self-serve, and we create a chatbot. So the idea is that this chatbot, which is called Kamu is a neutral name in Finnish, so it goes for women and men. And it answers more common questions. And then when the things get complicated, then it leaves you with like a person that will answer the rest. Kamu is in play, so you can chat with Kamu if you go to our places. But I think what we brought to the organization is this co-design. So the way we went around to develop Kamu was together with immigrants, was together with the different partners in our organization. And this I will tell quickly. So first of all, we went to the customer service office that was in the east of the country, and we did a workshop with them, and we asked, what do people ask? Because we wanted to prioritize what Kamu was going to answer according to their needs, so they know what our clients need. And then we did a kind of fantasy survey asking immigrants, what is your superhero civil servant? Is it like, is it more like a teacher, or is it more like a car mechanic, or would you like to prefer like, is your best friend? So how would you relate to this civil servant? So we developed the personality of Kamu in a very iterative way, making a lot of different trials with our groups, with our internal groups, and with immigrants. So we come up with this synthesis, which is the personality of Kamu. So it's not like an executive director, it's more like a best friend. It's a little bit more close, it's friendly, it's not super friendly, right? And we test, for example, how many emoticons you can use that were like suitable for this type of communication. And this is a poster that is beside the content designers that are making and writing the answers for Kamu every day. This is still in use. And then we went one step further, and we decided that we wanted to talk about these moments in life. So people were coming to us and asking, hey, but what do I do with my taxes? So we started a pilot, which is super important in the Finnish context, because it's the first time that we have created a network of chatbots. So when people ask Kamu what to do with the tax bot, then the chatbot from the tax office will answer, or from the Patent and Register Center. And this is, maybe it sounds very easy for you, but it's quite of complicated things that 3 public organizations have like a chatbot that connect to each other. So for us, it has been like a lot of co-design effort in that collaboration. And I can talk a lot about that, but I will continue. You can ask afterwards. Then we have these capability building projects, because we understood that, first of all, people, they don't know what's service design. So yes, it's cool in Finland to say you're a service designer, but nobody knows how to use a service designer. So the first thing I did is we set up a 1-year program in which different civil servants from the whole country came to classes. Like we have like a training during 1 year. So 80 hours of training, 1 year on, 8 external experts, and this, I think it's very similar to what you were doing with the competition type of thing. So we created a network, an ambassador network there. And we have, at the end of the year, we have 24 civil servants that went to this service design training. And nowadays we are doing just much quicker of these trainings, but for example, we have been in a reception center working on how the interaction with the reception center workers and the asylum seekers should be, and they come out with ideas, we iterate. So we did like in 5 days a short training, but the most important is that the experts, the ones, so our colleagues, the ones that know how things are done there, are there testing and doing these type of projects, and this goes in the name of training. So we came up with these operational models that came during the time when we were working. The first one is that, like in the case of the chatbot, that first someone in an organization noticed that there is a big problem, then we take the challenge with us and we start to work on that. But little by little we disappear from the project. And then some other team, in this case of the chatbot, is a team in the digital service unit. They come up, they take the project, they embrace it, and they continue working with that. So this has been the model for some of the projects that we have been doing. But then we have another model, which is like, hey, come to our group and do this project with us. So we call it participating. So there is a lot of different projects led by the customer service unit that they want us as service designers, and they realize what it is, and we just go. But it's not our initiative, we just work with them in the team. And then something that happens out of this ambassador network, you remember the training I told you? So is that we have this consulting model. So people have their own project, and we help them creating, like we call it, building the infrastructure for the project. No? We tell, hey, you know, we can run this project in this way together. Oh, sorry, that we were here. So we have a lot of projects that came also after this training, because they were people participating in the training, they have their own ideas that they want to create, and then we say, yes, of course, we can help you. So from time to time, we meet them and we help to move forward the project. And then we have other type of projects. It's like, we call it this building a space of collaboration, because we have brought, for example, a lot of expertise from the academia. We have interns in our group. It's always 1 or 2, like coming to do their master thesis. But we also create events together with professors in the universities in Finland, and what we want is like to work a little bit more with other stakeholders that are not only the public sector. So for us, it has been super useful to have different operational models that provides a variety of ways of collaboration. So it's not only I own this project and then I give it to you, but there is like different ways of doing this co-design work. And then for us, it was important to think that in the future, what we want is not to have the model that we have at the beginning, that we are going to do only cross-collaboration within the private sector, but we want to open the space of collaboration and do more work with other stakeholders, as the NGOs, for example, and the universities, who now we collaborate partially. So this is probably my last slide. So to the question of how do we transform the government by design, it's like for me the answer is that we bring and reinforce human-centered design through projects, this capacity building, and the cross-agency collaboration. This is what we have been doing in our team. Oops. Thank you.